You're watching Unrendered on IKTV. We are now channel 112 on the New Flow Network. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at iConcepts. I'm Tony Regisford. I'm chatting with the leader of the Democratic Republican Party, Ms. Anesia Baptiste. Anesia, we got 15 minutes to get on a lot of stuff here.
Yeah.
As we record the program today, Thursday the 31st, the day before Emancipation Day,
Yes.
the NDP has staged a protest march or an anti-corruption march. I'm not sure what it's been headlined.
Yes, anti-corruption.
And we're getting updated as we go along. And we're seeing here that some of the leadership of the party is pledging, as of today, no cooperation with the government.
Yes, yes.
What is your reading of that that stance that they've taken?
I read that update on Eyewitness News, that online blog from Kenton Chance, journalist. And he's citing one of the vice presidents of the NDP, Mr. Leacock, Honorable Sinclair Leacock, as saying that basically the NDP has suspended all cooperation with the Ralph Gonsalves government as of today, and it was reiterated by the PRO of the party. I find that general statement is...
You think it's an emotional outburst? You think in the heat of the moment with the thousands of people that they have at their rally, do they have thousands of people?
Let me tell you something,
Yes.
You have to be responsible. Emotional or not, you have to be responsible. You cannot say something like that. So, okay, the Ralph Gonsalves government comes in Parliament next month with a bill to deal with, let's say, electronic crimes or something that is good for the country. And you're telling me you're not going to cooperate with the government? And in fact, one report I got said that the PRO indicated that they will not be cooperating with anything inside or outside of Parliament. How could you make a general statement like that? Listen to me. Vincentians need good governance. Good governance means also, Tony, that you're not just going to oppose because you're called opposition. Good governance means you'll be mature, you'll be honest enough to admit when something good is being done even by your opponents. Good governance means that you're looking out for the people and not just an opportunity to score some political point.
Right.
At the expense of the people. So I want to see how they are going to justify their position on certain bills to come in the Parliament after a statement like this.
But maybe they're not going to Parliament at all.
Well, then the people should hold them responsible for that. You can't behave like that and expect to govern and expect to become Prime Minister and the government in this country.
Do you sense
and be tired of that kind of politics?
Right. So do you sense that, if we're reading this correctly, this Eyewitness News update, do you sense that the leadership and the NDP in general, right, are sensing that they have the majority of the support of the people, and so they're taking a militant stance? It's like, okay, the government in power is now a lame duck government. We are really the government, so let's just get this thing with, ring the bell and let's go. Is that what you're sensing from them? Elections
are won on election day. So if that is the sense that they have, it is complacent, it is irresponsible, because you don't know that you have won until you have won. And therefore, you cannot take that approach, okay? And I am saying, even if you think the Ralph Gonsalves government is a lame duck government, okay, they're done now, they can't get back into office or whatever, even if you think that, you have a duty to continue to work for the people until the Ralph Gonsalves government is removed. You have a duty to work. So don't tell me you're not going to cooperate with the government in things that may be worthwhile cooperating, you know, with them in. So I just think that one has to be very careful. You know, you have to have humility. And you have to be mature and wise.
That you're going to be frank and not diplomatic. I can't be as frank as you. But I'm going to ask you a direct question. A direct question. Do you think that the NDP is digging a deep hole for themselves?
When I was here on your last program, I told you, and that since I saw that they were getting worse, since my firing, I saw many things mishandled, badly dealt with, and so on. And somehow they're the only ones who seem to be blind to their reality, that they're doing well when they are not. I am saying, and I keep saying, in order to beat Ralph or the Honorable Prime Minister, you have to be better than him. You can't accuse them, the government, of certain things, and then you yourself behave in similar ways.
Are they better
Not
than
in
him?
my view at all. I think, look, Tony, I represent a set of voters and a young politician who thinks that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is tired of the typical, traditional kind of way of practicing politics. I'm 33 years old, going on 34. We are tired of this kind of partisan divide. I can talk to all sorts of people. You understand? I talk to ULP, NDP, everybody, and I reason with them. If ULP is right, I say they are right. If NDP is right, I say they're right. If they're wrong, I say they're wrong. If ULP is wrong, I say they are wrong. What we have here is a situation where it's as if the ULP and the government and Dr. Gonzalez are always wrong, and it could never be right. It's not mature. It's not the truth. No government has always been wrong, or no government has always been right. And you have to be fair. People want that kind of maturity now in politics. People are tired of the divide and the cussing and the fighting and the denigrating remarks and so on from both sides. And I'm saying the DRP represents that mature middle ground, that alternative that could truly reunite the people, cross the divides, reason with people, even though they disagree, still serve them, because your true test and your real identity as a leader and as a good government is not so much how you treat those who support you, you know, Tony. It's how you treat your opponents, you understand? It's how you're able to win them over. It's how you're able to convince them that even though you don't like me or you don't support all of my policies, I still see you as a Vincentian whom I have a duty to serve, and I will serve you. Okay? And this is what we need. This is the kind of politics we need going forward. Not this kind of cussing and fighting that causes people to develop hate and spite and vindictiveness and unforgiveness. We don't need that. We don't need any more of that. And that is what the NDP is showing itself to more and more represent. And if that's what we have to put in place of what we currently have, I say no way. The DRP offers the people of this country a better opportunity, a mature opportunity. We don't agree with every policy of the ULP, but we certainly are mature enough to say they are right when they are right, or they are doing something good when they're doing something good, and to show you what we would do better.
Let me ask you a question. Permit me, if you may. Should the 2015, and I'm calling the election in 2015
okay.
now. Well, no, I'm just going to pull that back and say, should the next election, right, the DRP, the ULP, and the NDP contest, and the DRP does not emerge the victor, who would Anesia sit more comfortably with as being the eventual victor, if it is not you?
You asked me that question in another way on the last occasion, and I said to you then, and I'll say to you now, that if that time comes, if we meet that bridge, we would cross it.
So you're not going to answer me?
As I said.
We have some time here to fit in the Jomo Thomas, Grenville Williams, that whole saga that played out there, because there was a poll and Jomo seemingly came ahead of the poll. I interviewed Jomo, and we spoke about that. Then last Sunday, I think the party bigwigs, executive, I don't know these political you know, terms, but the big cheese went down to South Leeward along with the constituents, and Grenville Williams nominated Jomo, and the other candidate, David Brown, seconded the nomination. Was that all staged?
I don't know.
I mean, let's well, you and I are speculating.
Well, look, I think at the end of the day, the people of South Leeward, ULP supporters, NDP supporters, DRP supporters, Green Party supporters, are all going to decide. And in this particular case, yeah, the ULP supporters are going to decide as well, if they were happy or not with how their party dealt with what, you know, this matter with Mr. Jomo Thomas and Mr. Grenville Williams, right? So, you know, we really just have to watch and see. I know that there are persons who are not happy, and I tell you, I have a good relationship with everybody. I've had ULP people talk to me, you understand, and they express themselves. And I too have expressed my concerns with how I think political parties generally have been dealing with the whole candidate selection process, you know. So, I mean, I know some people are not happy, and at the end of the day, they're going to decide. I've had a ULP supporter call me and say, come and run South Leeward now, because I can't vote, I want to vote for you. And I'm like, okay. But you know, I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. Whether or not it was staged, I don't know.
We're going to go on quickly to some corruption issues here, or issues that
Claimed corruption.
Alleged corruption. So let me be very careful. And that's what the march of the NDP was about today.
Yes, anti-corruption march.
Anti-corruption march.
Yeah.
So what's the corruption we're talking about here? The thing with the registrar is one such issue that they're saying, you know, look, things inside are wrong, things inside are bad, there's cover up, and you know, what's your position on the issue with the registrar?
I am responsibly awaiting the auditor report on the matter and the action that would or wouldn't be taken with respect to the lady, right? Because I've heard, I've read, I've seen, I understand that there's investigation. There are steps that have been taken to take certain actions against her. We heard things about the repayment of some monies, etc. And I'm awaiting responsibly what is going to come out of it. I am saying, Tony, okay? And this is something I think people overlook. You see this thing about individuals in a government doing wrong? This could happen under any government, you know.
Right.
As a prime minister, you are not in everybody's head to make choices for them. People can choose to do wrong under your government. How you deal with it will determine where you stand with the people, if you're accountable, if you're responsible, and so on.
What is your impression of Rav Gonsalves, the Prime Minister, Rav Gonsalves, in the way he's dealt with this so far?
Well, in as far as he can deal with it, because the Prime Minister is not the DPP. He's not supposed to do the DPP's job. He's not the Attorney General, and he doesn't hold certain offices that he can just do something like that.
Right.
You know, not overlooking the processes and the law and things like that. But in as far as the fact that I know people are concerned, for example, that the lady was allowed to leave the country, seemingly allowed to leave the country when they knew that she was being asked to resign, okay? And the quick manner in which she was able to do that. And I have questioned it too, in terms of, okay, if you know you asked her to resign, how come immediately she wasn't, you know, forbidden from leaving, as it were? And an explanation was given that, you know, basically by the time they got around to it, she had left. I'm not quite sure that
somebody from leaving
without
criminal charges, without charges being brought against them?
Right.
Could you intercept before process takes place?
If you would have done, if you were able to do your job quick enough, yes, in terms of your investigation, but one could see that it was a really small period, a short period, you know. And an auditor report, in fact, it may very well be ready. You know, we need to wait on certain things at the end of the day. Because if I am a leader of a country, and there are laws and there are rules and there are processes, okay? How if you succeed in dealing with it properly is not so much on how fast you're able to, as it were, pounce on somebody, etc. But you have to follow the law too. So it's a balance of the two. You understand? Some people want to see things quick, okay? And also I could understand people's feeling because they felt in other cases they did not see anything done to address certain things. And another time we could talk about those things.
Yes.
Things about people being transferred from one department to the
another,
next,
right.
you know, over things that were wrongs, and it looks like they just got a slap on the wrist.
Right.
People are concerned generally about those things. I am too.
Yes.
However, in this particular case, I am yet waiting to see the real evidence that shows that wrong procedures were done.
You're not going to rush to judgment?
I'm not rushing to judgment at all. I think that's a responsible position to take.
We're going along with politics, you know.
Yeah.
Because you're a politician, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Sir James Mitchell, is he going to be a factor in this next elections?
I don't know. I really don't know.
He's at odds, or the NDP and him are at odds.
Yes.
Do you think, let me phrase this question
we have
to you.
seen
Do you
that,
think
yes.
that Sir James, the treatment is dished out to him now? Do you think he's begged for it, the way he's gone at Mr. Eustace in public and all that? Do you think, or do you think Mr. Eustace and the other top brass of the party are just plain disrespectful? What are your thoughts?
I've not always agreed with everything that Sir James has said or done. And I realize, I think both sides have dealt with each other in ways that were not called for at times, okay? Whether or not he will be a factor, a deciding factor in the next elections. I don't know, because maybe we might say, well, he may be a deciding factor in the northern and southern Grenadines. Some people feel he has that stronghold still, and you know, if he decides to do something, I don't know, start a new movement or something. I think I can safely say no, based on what he himself has said to me, okay, in private conversation. He's not happy with the leadership, with the leader, and I think he has said that publicly.
Well,
that's not news.
That's not news.
That's not private. But he did say something to the effect that makes me answer your question with a no. I don't think he would work for that leadership.
So by inference, if he works at all, he either works for himself or for the ULP, or for you.
Well, that is your inference. However, time will tell, and it's all left to be seen. That is what I would say.
Anesia, thank you very much for coming on this
Thank you for having me, and I hope to be back
soon. We are finished,
soon.
So you don't have to, you know,
hope to be back
you
soon,
can let out
so
all
we
your
can talk more about the DRP.
Exactly. We'll be back.
All right.
This has been another edition of Unrendered. My guest on this edition was Anesia Baptiste, Mrs. Anesia Baptiste. She is the leader of the Democratic Republican Party. Do join us on IKTV 112 on the new Flow Network the next time Unrendered airs.